Like Phone, our newest horror film by Scott Dickinson, so this is incredible. I really enjoyed Sinister. Like, I thought that was one of the best horror films I've seen in quite some time, but this is miles ahead of it, where this doesn't fall into the standard sort of jump scare trope where they're just throwing jump scares at you, where everything really builds to it's a situational horror, so everything is escalating, and when there is actually a jump scare thrown in there, it's in there for a reason and really has that payoff that you're looking for, rather than going, here's a jump scare, just throwing them at you for no real reason, just to, get you jumping out of your seat and making sure that you're feeling scared. But this is just with that tension the whole time, and when they do come in, they have such a great payoff. Like, I really enjoyed that part of it. On a bit of an emotional roller coaster, so we get to see Finn, who's our main character, and we get to see him sort of dealing with his day-to-day life, and everyone in this film is sort of battling with their inner demons. Like, no one's really happy-go-lucky. Like, I like how it wasn't sort of seen everyone is always happy all the time, where everyone's dealing with, there's kids beating each other up, and there's all that internal conflict going in with them, and then home lives aren't great. But then they're also dealing with this serial kidnapper and killer that's coming in there as well. And I liked how they foreshadowed all the band coming in, so you get to see the build up and see what's happening around all these people while they're just going about their daily lives. Once Finn's in the basement, you feel bad for Finn, and you start to really cheer for him, and you get to see the phone calls. Like, the phone calls are really cool, where you get to learn about the previous victims, where I didn't really like how the switching, so they switched into those sort of dream sequences where you get fed the backstories of each of the victims, where I preferred them just to be the voice, and you get to see Finn sort of trying to work out the broken messages that are coming through, it was really cool to see. And every time you got those interaction and the phone would ring, your heart would sort of leap, and you'd feel that emotional connection to Finn, and you wanted him to succeed. But then this is the true standout is Ethan Hawke. Like, he was fantastic in this film. Like, I haven't seen a villain this sinister and this magical on screen for a very long time. Like, with his mask, the mask is terrifying, and you can see his whole physical demeanor sort of switch and change between his moods, which represent with his mask changes. It just all ties in, so each time you'll see him in a different type of personality based on his mask, and you can feel for Finn, because he doesn't know what's going on, we don't know what's going on, and it all just translates to this really tense horror interactions with, obviously, Hawke and Finn is just incredible. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I was truly terrified any time Ethan Hawke was on the screen. Like, fantastic performance. For the cast and crew, working with child actors, considering majority of your cast are child actors, it's always a risk, but they've done really well with casting. All the child actors work in really well, and they actually do give a fantastic performance. Where there is the dream sequences where I would have liked a little bit more story with them, how do they have those dream sequences, and how does that sort of play in? Is it just, are they psychic? What is it? They don't really explain it, but that's okay. It was because everything ties in, and it's not like an overfed sort of thing where that's how they sort of solve a crime, etc. It's just how it all ties in. It gives you that little bit of backstory as well for each of the different characters, where I did like that. It was a good way to interweave it into the story and give you that extra details that you wanted, but it just wasn't really explained. But other than that, this is a fantastic horror film. I really enjoyed it. We had that emotional roller coaster where we wanted Finn to succeed and just be truly terrified by a villain, which hasn't happened in a really long time. So if you were thinking about waiting for this to come on to DVD or a streaming service, don't go see it in a cinema, because it'd be truly terrifying. It'd be worth the experience. And yeah, if you're going to see it or you want to see it, let me know. And yeah, you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.